Welcome back, my delinquents. Popular art commission website Vgen is in a bit of a controversy at the moment with their policy update. So I'm going to give a very brief of what this is supposed to be about and go into it, though this will be framed more of a discussion because some people have very different opinions on this and has turned into a bit of a war between commissioners, artists, and some VTubers because obviously VTubers use this website a lot. So pretty much Vgen updated their policies on when artists can extend their projects to and the punishments. I think that's a bit of harsh of a word, pretty much the punishments to what happens when you don't hit these deadlines, what happens to your account, etc. Because there has been some problems in the past with artists just delaying the works indefinitely. I've only done like one or so on that website. It did take longer than predicted, but I wasn't really waiting on it because if anyone has done a commission, especially in the VTuber community, the wait time is very long. And I'm going to be taking this from the point of not just a VTuber, but I'm also an artist. So keep that in mind here that I see both sides in this. But when it comes to art commissions, there is supposed to be a certain standard of time that is supposed to take. If you cannot hit the standard you're giving out, you aren't supposed to do commissions, or you're doing too many commissions. So we're going to go into this about the problem here with the policy update, or what people perceive to be the problem, and what's causing all this drama between everyone. So here we have, if you don't know what it is, the commission website, Vgen. You can sign up as an artist with a code. It is code only at the moment, or you can sign up as someone looking to commission. A lot of VTubers use this because this was portrayed as a safer way to do commissions or set timelines, some sort of product protection, etc. But at the moment, there doesn't seem to be much actual refund policy. They aren't actually in charge of the refund policy. From what I can tell, it seems to still be through the payment processor, and the part through Vgen, the artist can just say no at the moment. So there has been some conflicts in the past because of this, as I mentioned, commission long dates, things just not going fulfilled, or full out scams on this website. As especially in VTubing, art scams are really common. They're not super uncommon in art communities, but VTubing has really made art like a projectile of money. There's so much money going into the art industry that wasn't there before VTubing. There was like lots of commissions and other things, but it has made it a very profitable business. And with that comes scammers, as it's also very anonymous. So this is actually very hard to manage, in my opinion, as it is freelance work. And especially with the VTubing community, one of the reasons why this is needed is that ghosting clients isn't exactly uncommon. Same with asking for refunds unjustly from the artist. So it's trying to mediate some toddler-like behavior, pretty much. From some people. So we're going to go over this buyer protection here just to see what everyone's getting up in arms about. From the owner, I'm pretty sure, of Vgen, or one of their mods. Buyer protection part 1. We were going to release all of our new buyer protection updates together, but have decided to introduce them in chunks to be as helpful as possible. ASAP. We are at a point with slightly more protection than what was possible before Vgen simply isn't good enough, and we're sincerely sorry to all the clients that we weren't able to protect better or sooner. As such, we're introducing Safeguard Better Protect Buyers has been something we've been actively working on for a while. A big problem here, if you're past the refund date, there's nothing you can do. You just have to hope they send it to you at this point. And I'm pretty sure before this, it was 60 or 120 days plus or something, and you could extend it. Commissions still weren't coming through. And some artists have complained here it's not enough time to get commissions out. In my opinion, I think if you can't get a commission out in 120 days, you shouldn't have took it unless it's a high, complex, long job. If you were taking on too many commissions, that is your management problem. That is something you've decided to do. Yes, you need to make a living, but you should raise your prices then, as you need to only take on as much work as you have time. In the VTubing community especially, it's not as big as a problem in the mainstream art community. It is not uncommon, and I'm not talking about live 2D models, because they can take months, but some people wait years for their commissions to be done. I know someone who waited 2 years for a model. Like, that is crazy, because some wait lists are 6 months. They will take your money and then they won't even start for half a year. Like, those kind of practices are kind of crazy to me. And yes, they do need to make a living, but they shouldn't really be taking payment for a job they have no intention to start for half a year or to a year. I don't think people should be booked that far in advance. There's one thing being waitlisted, but actually money exchanging hands on a product that could take months and months is very risky. And I really don't think it's an acceptable standard to have or to expect. Okay, so we're going to go more into this. Preface. To date, we have placed trust in our artists to self-manage workflow and cash flow to let artists keep it close to your existing workflows as possible. However, this has unfortunately exposed clients to the same possible issues that come with commissioning. It comes with commissioning independent artists pre-Vgen, unreliable delivery times, ghosting, etc., which has been happening a lot. There's a lot of it happening, and pretty much if this happens, businesses have to put this in, because you may not be the person doing this, but there's enough of it they have to safeguard clients, because that's where all the money comes from, the client. They need to be safe to some extent. Even if we are able to mediate, block, and manually escalate with local banks, there is usually a very long wait and has not always been effective in ensuring the safety of buyers' funds. While we thankfully have not had many problematic articles on Vgen to date due to meticulous vetting and invite system and moderation, we are at a scale that we have inevitably let some bad actors slip. We understand that even a couple bad actors is devastating to not only the individual client's impact, but the trust of our entire community. We're at a point where slightly more protection than what was possible before Vgen simply isn't good enough. And we're sincerely sorry to all the clients that we weren't able to protect better sooner. As such, we're introducing safeguards to better protect buyers has been something we've been actively working on for a while. We hope that we found the right balance of allowing artists as much freedom and flexibility as possible while still ensuring buyers are protected in case it doesn't go right. I do think this is completely fair. I've read ahead in some of the times on here. I don't think they're completely unreasonable, and there seems to be some flexibility there. You just have to be slightly on it with updating, which you should be. You should be updating your clients. If it's delayed, update it. So I was reading someone's comment saying, oh, but this is terrible because my account's been in trouble because I didn't update. I was delayed with my artwork. It's like, this is a business. You can't just ghost your clients and not update them what's happening. If you use Vgen professionally, you need to do it. They're not your teacher. They're not your mother. They are a business partner of yours. It's up to you to run your business. Because like freelance or not, or art or not, if you take commissions, you are a sole trader. You are a business. You aren't just some artist drawing what you love on the internet, because if you work just for yourself, that is fine of you just doing your own artwork. But when you take on clients, you have a responsibility to them. It's actually very serious. It's not lighthearted. They aren't your best friend. They are your client. And all our troubles and tribulations as artists may suck. Me, myself, I have a disability too. But that is not an excuse to do a bad job. Be honest about those limitations, work around them, but you can't use it as a way to just take money from people and just be delayed until affinity. We have to be professional too, to the best of our abilities. All proposals moving forward must have a guaranteed delivery date. The date must be within 150 days. So 150 days is around like 5 months. So you have 5 months of your delivery date, even on this basic one. As far as I remember, there is extensions on this. 5 months for a piece of work. A live 2D, yeah, if you took it very late, but usually on average, they take 2 to 3 months, depending on art or if you're doing both, I guess. Don't know if they say it here, but they said split up the payments if you know they're going to take months. If you're doing rigging and the live 2D art, just pay for the live 2D art. And then when it's done, they pay for the rigging. And then that gives you 300 days, even without extensions. Account restrictions on accounts with overdue comms. Any artist with 3 or more overdue comms will now have all service force shut down, removed from discovery until they have no more overdue comms on their account. I think that's completely fair, because 3 is quite a bit. Looking ahead at buyer protection part 2. Coming in 2 to 4 weeks, these are the more heavy-hitting features of buyer protection. We hope will ensure the client funds are always safe. Thank you for your patience as we continue to work on these big features. VG payments powered by Stripe. That's very common. Throne uses it. A lot of places use Stripe. I'm not a super fan of it, but it's not the worst. We'll be transitioning to a withheld fund system where clients' funds aren't released to the artist until the successful completion of the commission or milestone. It is a little harsh, that one, but I understand the conundrum they are in. It's not uncommon to not accept payment sometimes until sketch is done, but it's not like the money hasn't moved to holding. It just isn't released to the artist until then. So it's not like money hasn't been taken and there's a chance they won't get paid, but it just means they have to turn into some sort of work before it gets released to them. PayPal will remain the same. Funds are immediately available to the artist, but we will be more proactively encouraging clients to dispute after guaranteed delivery date has passed, which is very common. Unless there's trust between the artists, a lot of people will dispute as soon as the guaranteed refund period. I myself, I have no idea how people do it. It's why I'm 3D still, is that going past guaranteed delivery dates on a very expensive order is very risky. Can I say something? I think the late deliveries are caused by taking too much commissions beyond artist capacity. That is honestly the biggest problem. Artists taking on way too many commissions. I do think open commissions would have been a good one where you can only have so many open projects at once. But to be fair, some artists do take on a lot once, but I think if they had a system of if you complete like 6, you get an increase on how many you can take at once would be smart, because a lot of sites do that. But they also updated this. Okay, after lots of feedback, we've reevaluated the need to enforce 150-day guaranteed delivery. Instead, the guaranteed delivery will be mandatory, but the limit will be 2 years. So it can be discussed between the artist and the client how long the delivery date is, which I think is a fine update too. 150 days is fair, but I think the ability to customize it to your client is just better after each payment. Yep. This means if commission has a guaranteed delivery date beyond 150 days, the client will be required to check a consent box that the comms refund will not be protected by Vgen, which is a little risky. So that is something to take in consideration. If you want to ensure your large, lengthy project, i.e. VTuber model, is protected, ask to split payments into milestones so that we can protect each payment. That's exactly where I said it. I said it before. I do think that is smart in general to do. So if something does go tits up, you have not lost tons of money. I think that's good to do in general, even if you're not through Vgen. A lot of people here are like saying this is a horrible change. I think it's completely fair. I don't think it should be standard practice to hold on to people's money for years at a time or months at a time before starting a project. Do not take on new projects until you are at least close to starting them, especially payment for these projects. And if there wasn't so many complaints about scamming, ghosting, and all that stuff, these policies would need to be made. But they need to get made because people are grifters out there too. And as someone who has done art commission in the past, they're not my favorite to do, I think it's fair. There seems like, look at this, look at all this backlash over this. I do think some of it is ridiculous. Some people are saying they're not going hard enough. Some people are saying they're going too hard. Honestly, I don't think anyone can be happy with this because you cannot 100% protect the artist. You cannot 100% protect the client. That's not how it is. The system just needs to be balanced to figure out who's right or wrong. But it is an indie kind of startup website, so they really don't have the manpower to manually go over these things. And here's a good one up here that someone put in here by Dori Klepto. Sorry, not sorry, but way too many of you got comfortable with ghosting clients, taking on too many comms at once, and even opening comms while your queues are full. So glad someone is finally putting a stop to it. Clients work for their money too. Stop treating them like this. Exactly. This money that these artists are paid comes from someone. This is people's money. Yeah, I would agree with this as someone who is also disabled. I don't like bringing it up too much, but yeah, I have an immune deficiency disorder. There you go, guys. But this is the same thing. This is why I don't particularly like doing commissions, is because I can go through periods of being slow. So I don't feel like I can make that commitment to people. That is a responsible answer. If you know you have a problem, don't commit to too many. I understand needing the money, but it's better than ruining your whole career with a bad reputation, in my opinion. It is a reason. You can use mental health problems, disabilities, or anything like that as a reason, or even for them to give you some more consideration. But we can't use it as an excuse to treat people badly. And I would say not returning commissions or ghosting is treating your clients badly. I think this is a fine answer, and I think Vgen is within their right trying to solve this problem because it is a huge problem that is going around, and they need to stop it or they won't be a trusted website and no one will get to use it. And especially seeing the VTuber space with commissions is an absolute hellscape of just getting ghosted or them not doing the work or the product's not arriving. It's just being stolen. It's ridiculous. And this is not petty money. These are thousands of dollars. So much money just going out the window. And these comes from people, not just your big VTubers. It comes from people with day jobs that saved up for their new model as they were streaming. Simple people just getting ripped off like hundreds of dollars. If you're going to open an art business, you have to run it like a business. It is a responsibility. But this is just my opinion on this. I want to know what you guys think, as this issue does kind of branch out further than the VTubing community into the art community or general commissioners. Who do you think is right here, or do you think they are both right? Do you think this is fair? Let me know in the comments below. I'm really interested to hear your take on this. As always, this is just my opinion and what I think of the situation. I encourage you to make your own homies, and I'll see you next time, my delinquents. You got this, bestie.